Okay.
Something that Kevin just brought up in the chat room. He has a video which I had the fun of watching. He uses a song by Jimi Hendrix in the background while he's riding a motorcycle.
Right.
And he was saying that he's surprised he hasn't gotten nailed to the wall for that one. But what's happening is that what we believe, and YouTube has been absolutely silent about this. So they're not talking about the method of how things are getting nailed for DMCA, but what we're kind of in agreement upon between all of the users is that it's either a bot that is checking for MP3 signatures, like thumbprints, or it's going through the audio track and looking for specific melodies, looking for specific sequences. Now, whatever the case is, there are lots of people who have made workarounds with just tweaking the audio just by an X amount of percent, so that the human ear is probably not going to pick up on it, but it's something that it's enough to throw the machinery off. And that's kind of what's happening now, is you've got a lot of people who, they still want to use the music. They still want to make videos with artists, whatever, in the background. But they're not being able to because of YouTube and Warner fallout. So instead of working within the law, they're just working around the law. And that's kind of what I think is going to be the future of what's going to happen with YouTube. And I hate to put it that way,
right?
But it's going to be an entire culture of people who do nothing but work around the existing laws because the law sucks.
Right. And the other thing too is that hand in hand with that is that the internet is kind of the Wild West anyway, in so many respects. It is such an open frontier, and what people don't realize is that one of the founding aspects of the internet is the fact that people will always find ways to do stuff they want to do no matter what.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sort of a standing thing on about the internet anyway,
Oh yeah. And the big corporations don't understand it, or they don't understand why they haven't been able to rein it in.
They're afraid of us, I think.
It's the whole mentality of people online generally.
Well, we just know what we want.
Well,
and you're not going to.
What can they do? Sue everybody on the internet?
They might.
Well, it sounds like they're trying.
Oh, I know. And look what happened. The backlash was just unbelievable.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you call your own customers thieves, that kind of will do that.
Yeah. And I don't think they could. They could not afford to take legal action against everybody on the internet who used their music, in a way that they felt was illegal, or broadcast it. There's no way, and they would be taking legal action against people all over the world.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine how popular the RIAA would be?
About as popular as they are now.
Gamma, maybe that's what's going to happen in 2012. The whole it's not going to be a zombie invasion. It's just going to be urea coming out of the sky. They're gonna deploy the parachutes, and they're gonna parachutes drop on top of us, and no.
Rob just made a good point. He said they would sue the providers, and
But
YouTube.
In theory, they can't.
Safe harbor. We actually did we talk about this last week, or I think you and I just talked about it when we Skyped.
We haven't really gone into that.
Okay, well, this is an interesting. The recording's still going, so this is something interesting. I think that might be interesting to. All right, I'm going to shut up and let you go.
Well, me?
Safe harbor under on WDC. Jesus Christ. DMCA.
DMCA.
Thank you. Under DMCA law, there's also a provision called safe harbor. Basically, sites that are hosting this, as long as they're not doing it knowingly and willingly, generally can't be sued. But the person who uploaded the video can. Now, in the other cases, such as Napster or even Pirate Bay, because they knowingly hosted illegal music files amongst other stuff, they could be sued. So, say YouTube would be, unless because YouTube makes it very clear in their terms of service, you cannot put copyrighted material. But So that pretty much exempt. They say no, this is against our rules, and especially if they get a takedown notice, they take it down without question. Um, that keeps them within the law as far as DMCA goes. So then they could go after the individual user if they insist on
Right.
brain
That's
fart.
actually
Thanks.
that's
Somebody help
actually
me.
that's actually been upheld in a court of law with Craigslist. Somebody had posted something very nasty about a product in Craigslist. The corporation went after Craigslist to sue them for daring to have it up there, and Craigslist won under safe harbor.
Rob.
Okay. Yeah, Pirate Bay. Basically, what Pirate Bay does is that they just move the servers to another country. That's really what they. And they've already done this. They've already moved out of Sweden and gone someplace else. That's how they stay
That's
online.
what's going to happen here when they start trying to, regulate internet radio the way they want to. American law can. I don't want to say control the American people, but maybe influence the American people. It'll just be done in other countries instead of here. And Rob just made a good point. He had sent Jack and I a link to, I think it was 5 music industry lawsuits that were like the biggies.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he said a defendant pleaded safe harbor and got their asses sued off.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
But the only fear that I have is that down the road, the only people that are doing any type of creative videos, creative music, creative anything are going to be considered criminals.
Yeah.
And the idea of being a creative criminal does not appeal to me. I don't want to see 20 years from now, so I don't want to see us going back to the way we used to do things back in the 90s, and that is, P2P, sending videos one person at a time on bad internet connections, because that's the only way that you can get original and fresh ideas.
Right. And more to the point is that it's just, okay, here's a parallel that I think everybody here will identify with. Kind of like if you outlaw guns, only the criminals will have them.
Yeah.
That same mentality would also apply to this.
I think that, then again, come to think of it, the creative force could possibly be more deadly than a gun.
Very true. Very true. I'm dropping in the main chat room right now, folks. I'm dropping the link to the article that Rob Mazurk, Disperminator, had sent Deb and I. If you guys want to check that out.
Article.
Very good article. I knew I still had it. I had to go look for it, and here it is. My bookmarks page is like huge. Okay. I really and what's bad is a couple of weeks ago I sat down and cleaned out like a lot of old stuff, and it's still huge. I mean, you scroll down, you scroll down, you scroll down. Because
we keep talking about the DMCA, and I don't know if everybody knows what it is. It was this fabulous new set of laws that came into play with all the download lawsuits and all that. It was all going nuts all at the same time. Well, they came up with these rules called the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. And I've got a couple of my favorite pieces of it that I want to share with you guys, so you can appreciate it as much as we do. Like if you're going to broadcast music on the internet, you cannot be part of an interactive service. There is no personalized on-demand streaming or downloading of content. And if you're in my chat room and you say, "Hey, will you play this song?" Well, yes, I can, but I have to wait at least 1 hour. 1 hour. Yes. Sound recordings can't be performed within 1 hour of a request by a listener or at a time designated by the listener.
So let me see if I can, just to put this in perspective, let's say that you happen to be a DJ on a multi-user interactive site like IMView or Second Life or any one of these that pop up, and you happen to be a DJ and you're broadcasting live. If somebody sends you in open chat, "Hey, play this song for me," and you play that song for them, you are technically a copyright infringer, or you're technically an infringement of the DMCA?
Yeah, that's in violation of DMCA.